Hey, everybody. This is a bit of a strange one. Who can afford to invest as conservatively as they want? I run into people that are super conservative by nature all the time, and they want to invest as conservatively as they possibly can. And how can I assess that they safely can do that? Well, there's a bunch of simple ways to do this, and I try to create just a couple of model people that you can say, yeah, I think you're going to be fine being as conservative as you want to be. Because that's something that as a fiduciary, we have to be flexible. We have to be able to look at what's going to keep these people happy. Every individual sitting in front of you, the psychology of finance has to come into play. So you're going to invest differently for every individual. And some people are just super conservative by nature, don't like the stock market, don't like anything other than maybe just a CD or money's hiding in their mattress at home. Whew, that's really conservative. So let's talk about the first one, the worker. Okay, somebody's still in their working years. How can you even possibly assess that? Well, by nature, people that are super conservative are usually very tight budgeted as well. So when you're looking at a situation, we got to look at this from 10,000 feet. Obviously, they're still working, they're making plenty of income, especially compared to their expenses. Very conservative people, tight on their budget, they're always going to spend less than they make. So live on a conservative budget is the first part. You can be conservative in your investing, but you also have to be conservative in your budget, your spending as well. So that's the first kind of personality type that we're going to start looking at, saying, well, you should be okay. The next part is qualify for significant guaranteed income in your retirement that will reasonably cover your expenses, meaning you're going to have really good Social Security, or you've got a great pension, or you got both, you're lucky. Or maybe you choose to buy one of those income annuities to make sure you've got more income than you're going to be spending so you're comfortable. But the bottom line is, even while you're working, forecasting into the future with a very conservative budget, are you going to have plenty of income? Do you have that pension? People that qualify for lots of guaranteed income can be more conservative on their investing strategies. Diligent saver from a young age, meaning you reasonably are going to have a lot more resources than you're actually going to need, because people that head into retirement with a very conservative investing and spending mentality don't just flip a switch and start spending more than they make. So it leads to people being able to invest very safely because of that. And that is the significant savings for your needs, right? It's based on needs. Not everybody thinks 10 million is significant savings. Not everybody thinks $5 is significant savings. Everybody has different idea of how much money they consider significant savings, but it needs to be significant to you and your needs. All right, so the other person, the person that heads off into retirement, you're there. What about inflation? I got to grow my money. I got to grow my money. Well, some people, and actually a lot of people in retirement, are allowed to be as conservative as they want to be. For a lot of people, the number one rule is don't lose your money, right? So let's start from that baseline. Don't lose your money. And the next part is try to keep up with inflation. Well, some people are in such good situations that the concept of trying to keep up with inflation really only means earn 1% or 2% here and there, and they'll be fine, right? And that goes back to those people that have good guaranteed income that are paying their base living expenses. And over time, that inflation will eat away at that. But also, we know that later in life, we spend less, and that helps us combat inflation as well. But then you actually do the math on the resources that we have here. And we look at, my example here of 1.2 million in savings, 30 years of retirement. 1.2 divided by 30 is 40, meaning money sitting in cash on the floor. You could spend 40,000 of those dollars every single year for 30 years and not run out of money. So you talk about conservative, that's as conservative as it gets. And again, we say, oh no, what about inflation? Well, let's look at this. If somebody's desired income is 80, and they have 60,000 worth of guaranteed income, and their savings amounts to 40,000 a year for 30 years, they have more resources than they need. They don't really need to pull very much from their portfolio. So you do the math on that with just 2% earnings, and you're like, holy cow, I never have to worry about money the rest of my life. Even factoring in inflation reasonably, we don't have to worry about too much in terms of running out of money. So when people are mathematically in these situations and psychologically they have plenty of guaranteed income to survive in retirement, that mentally helps people. These type of people can be as conservative as they want to be. And advisors should be listening to this. This is so important. We don't live in a world these days where it's all got to be stocks and bonds. It doesn't have to be. You can build retirement plans based on individual personalities and needs when you assess their grander situation. Can they afford to invest as conservatively as they want to? And the answer is some people can. Just like my other video that says some people can put 100% of their money in the stock market. We don't have to treat everybody exactly the same because of what phase of life they're in. It doesn't seem right. My clients are a lot happier when we're investing for their specific situation and their needs. And that becomes very important, especially as you're transitioning into retirement. You have to have an advisor that's paying attention and listening to you and your needs and building the portfolio that's right for you. That's the planning side of this. That's the fiduciary side of this. That fiduciary word gets thrown out way too much because unfortunately some people say they're fiduciaries but don't actually live by those rules. It's making sure we're doing the best thing for you, and that includes you enjoying your retirement, not worrying about the investing going up and down and up and down and up and down. So be as conservative as you want to be if you fit the mold, if you're a person that is allowed to. All right. I hope that helps because it's so important that we treat everybody for the individuals that they are as advisors. So give me a call, shoot me an email, let me know whether you like things like this or not. Comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm always happy to answer questions and interact, and sometimes I get ideas for topics by questions, and this came from one of those. So hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.